Okay, so this is my second attempt at a video to look at what you do after you've done your initial placement of the access points in their approximate locations in rooms across a campus. So if we quickly review what we were doing, if you remember, we had opened the various floor level maps. On those maps, we already had a list of the access point icons, and we were jumping back and forth between a particular map. So if we look at the auditorium, we see we've placed all the access points in here, but they were all over to the right, and we were jumping between this screen and the monitor screen. So for example, for 2AA-F40, we were jumping over here, and Control F, 2AA-F40, and we would see that that was Auditorium North Center. We'd jump back and we'd make a guess as to where we thought that was and place the access point. So if we review the maps, this one looks pretty simple. We've managed to successfully locate all of our access points. Building 1, we've got one over here on the right, 11BE00, that we haven't been able to locate. Oftentimes, we are guessing at these, and when we're really not sure, we might want to make a note in the location field over on the monitor screen. We might want to change the access point and actually note that we guessed the location. So if you look at this one here, we'll get into this one later, but this is one which was originally not found, and I determined that I thought it was in a particular place, but I did put guess in brackets so that it's spelled out to anyone who might be going to the site that I'm really not entirely sure. Okay, so we got one we're not sure about on the first floor of building 1. Looks like we're sure about all the access points that we were able to find in the next one, but you'll see that up at the top left, we don't seem to have found the access point that belongs in 1-222, and towards the bottom there are 2 marked access points that we haven't been able to find. So those are the kind of anomalies that show up, and that ultimately can only really be resolved by a site visit. Another thing that came about that's of note in this map is that we found that we seem to have far too many access points on the second floor of building 3. Now, the root cause of that would appear to be a mistake in the maps or in the plans. If we go over to look at the second floor for the cluster buildings 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. In fact, there are only second floors on 4 and 6. But you'll notice for 6 that we actually have room numbers which are 3- rather than 6-. So I'm guessing that somebody's made a mistake, and even though an access point is in building 6 and really in 6-203, they've labeled it as 3-203 in the spreadsheet, and that error has percolated through into what I've done within Hive Manager. So that's just an example of the kind of issues that you get. If we go back over to look at the monitor screen, there will be a number of access points, if we go down to the bottom, which we haven't been able to determine the location for. What we actually want to do is go in and do some detective work. If we go back to the maps, so for example, we can see here that we haven't actually managed to find access points for any of the second floor building 6. We've got one missing for room 4201. If we were to go look at a classroom block, we seem to have one missing over here, but actually this is not bad. This particular classroom block on the second floor looks good. The ground floor of building 14, we seem to be missing at least 2. I mean, these look like 14-112 looks like it should have an access point, and also 14-113. So those are the kind of anomalies that we will try to solve by diving in to look at the not found access points and what they can tell us about their neighboring access points, and that might allow us to guess where not found is. But inevitably we will have some where we just don't know where they are, and they will still be listed as not found. And when we make a site visit, we will try to determine that. I'm going to make another video coming up which will show you a little bit of how you go about the detective work to try and figure out where a specific access point is. And I would estimate that typically we can get about half of the not founds, we can make a good guess at where they are. Okay, video coming up.